morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Story Alive. I love sharing God's stories with you. Let's make ourselves ready this morning. Let's calm our heads, calm our hearts, and calm our hands as we breathe in together and breathe out. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Let's enter God's story together. This week's story symbol is here. And I know some of you will look at this and know immediately what the story is. And some others might have to wait till I get into the story a little bit before you remember the story, but I'm sure you will. When Jesus was a young man, crowds loved to follow him. They loved to listen to him and hear his stories. They loved to touch him. They loved to see him, witness him healing people. This one particular day, huge crowds came to listen to Jesus. They spread over a hill and looked down at Jesus, and some said there were 4,000 people there. There were grown-ups, and there were young children, and there were babies spread all over the hill waiting to hear Jesus' stories. And Jesus continued to talk and tell stories all morning, right through lunch hour, and nobody seemed to notice. They were so engaged in his stories. But by late afternoon, people were starting to get hungry. Tummies were rumbling, and young children were looking for snacks from their moms and dads. And the disciples began to get worried that there wasn't going to be any food for people to eat for dinner, because there was no place close by where they could buy any food or get any food. So they decided to go out and see if anybody in the crowd had any food. One of the disciples found a young boy. Let's call him Adam. And Adam had a basket. And in that basket, he had 5 tiny loaves of bread and the 2 fish. And so the disciple took Adam up to Jesus, and the little boy thought he would be giving his lunch to Jesus for Jesus to eat. But no, what Jesus did is he took the lunch and he started dividing it into pieces and putting the food in baskets for the disciples to take out to the crowd. And everybody ate. 4,000 people ate from that small lunch that Adam had in his basket. Isn't that amazing? I wonder how Jesus had made food for all those people out of the little he had. It was a miracle. A miracle that Jesus made for his people because Jesus had compassion. Do you know what compassion means? Can you think of a word that might mean the same thing as compassion? Yes, loving, caring, being generous. Compassion means caring for someone so much that you'll really go out of your way to do something to help them. And I thought it would be nice if all of you tried to be compassionate this week. Try to do a couple of things for others that showed compassion from your hearts. Maybe some of you want to make a bracelet out of beads, or maybe out of some yarn that can remind you this week to try and be compassionate. Or if you don't want to make a bracelet, maybe you could just put a stone in your pocket, a little smooth stone to help remind you that this week I'm going to be compassionate. And let's think of some ideas that could allow you to show compassion. How about helping your mom and dad by setting the table, or folding the laundry? Or maybe you could help your teacher with something at school, something that she doesn't really like to do or he doesn't like to do. Or maybe you could help your little brother or sister tie their shoelaces or do something that takes time that could help your little sibling and help your mom and dad. I'd be delighted to hear your stories about what you did this week to show compassion. And before we go today, boys and girls, let's bow our heads and say a little prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for showing compassion. Thank you for all the blessings you've given us, our families, our homes, the food that we eat. Help us to show compassion as you do. Amen. Goodbye, boys and girls. Have a great week, and I hope you tune in next week. Bye for now.